from Kern Government Television. Welcome to this week's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting. Originating from the County Administrative Center, located at 1115 Truxton Avenue in Bakersfield, California. Grounded in ideas, energy, and innovation, Kern County's vision is to be a driving force for the world's fifth largest economy. And our mission is to exceed expectations of the communities we serve, changing the way they feel about government, those who manage it, and the services it provides. Today's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting will convene momentarily.
Okay, good morning and welcome to the regular meeting of the Board of Supervisors, today being Tuesday, July 16th, 2024. The first item is roll call.
Supervisor Peters.
Here.
Supervisor Scrivener. Supervisor Flores. Supervisor Couch.
Here.
Supervisor Perez.
Here.
The next item is the salute to the flag, and at the conclusion of that, I'd ask you to remain standing for a moment of prayer, silence, or meditation, whichever you prefer. This morning, the flag salute is going to be led by Deb Johnson. She is the recently appointed VFW State Commander in California, and she's held almost every leadership role imaginable leading up to her current appointment. She served in the U.S. Army National Guard from 1985 to 1994 and served in Operation Desert Shield from 1990 to 91. She hails from Wisconsin and has made Kern County her home since 1998. She's also the president and CEO of California Veterans Assistance Foundation, who have made it their goal to end veteran homelessness by assisting veterans with temporary and permanent housing assistance, as well as the current Covey Cottages project that is under construction. Ms. Johnson's accolades are way too long to list because of her endless dedication and selfless service. So welcome, thank you for your service, and please lead us in the flag salute.
Good morning, thank you. Everybody please rise, face the flag of our nation, hand salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Two. Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Yes, I heard that, and we echo that. Thank you for your service, Deb, and your continued service to our community. The next item is a report on actions taken in closed session from the June 27th, 2024 meeting at 9 a.m. I'll turn to Assistant County Counsel Kendra Graham for that.
Good morning, thank you. On June 27th, shortly after 9 a.m., your board met in closed session on item number 1. There was no reportable action taken.
Okay, thank you. Despite there being no reportable action, we needed to say that, right? Okay. Next item is the pet of the week. So I'm going to invite Nick Cullen, who's our Director of Animal Services, to come out and introduce you to this week's pet of the week. Thanks, Kathy. Hello, Nick.
Hello, Supervisor.
How are you? Who you got here?
Good morning, Chairman Couch, members of the board. I brought Buster. Buster, one of our field officers, she asked me to please take Buster because he's, quote, the goodest boy. And I can verify that he is the goodest boy. He is available today for adoption at the Kern County Animal Shelter. He's only about 20 pounds. He's not going to get much bigger than this. Probably a little too big for me to be holding, but
I saw Allie playing with her, and this would be a great dog for kids. Very playful, very gentle.
yes.
So he won't last long. Go get him, Buster.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that's the fun part of the agenda. The rest of it, not so much fun, as you know. The next item is the consent agenda. All items listed with a CA or a C above the item number are considered to be routine and non-controversial by county staff. The CA represents the consent agenda for the Board of Supervisors. I don't think we have any of the Cs, but those would be for the Ford City Taft Heights Sanitation District or the Kern Sanitation Authority. Is there anyone, let me first tell you what's on the consent agenda. starts on page 2, consists of items 5 through 11 on page 2. On to page 3, items 14 through 18. Page 4, all the items 19 through 25. Page 5, items 27, and then 29 through 33. Page 6, items 34 through 41. Page 7, items 42 through 48. Is there anyone here that would like to make a comment or ask a question about any of the items on the consent agenda? Seeing none, I'll return it to the board for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Kesler votes.
The motion is approved, 2 absent, Supervisor Flores, Supervisor Scrivener.
Okay, by the way, I should have told you this maybe up front. We're going to bounce around in the agenda a little bit today, maybe take some items out of order because we've got some folks that are coming in for some specific items. Some member, Dr. Jasmine Baines, I think, is going to be here. Is she here yet, by the way? Does anyone see her? She might not be here for a few minutes. So let's go ahead and go back to the resolutions and proclamations portion of the meeting, which is item 1 on page 2 is the first one, and items 1 and 2 will be presented by Supervisor Perez. Item 1 is a resolution honoring Adriana Kesler of the Department of Human Services upon her retirement with 34 years of dedicated service to the County of Kern. And item 2 proclaims July 21 through 27, 2024 as Probation Services Week in Kern County.
Thank you, Chair. Motions on 1 and 2.
Second.
Ms. Kesler votes.
The motion is approved,
Thank you.
3 ayes, 2 absent, Supervisor Flores, Supervisor Scrivener.
I have mixed feelings about these, Chair, because they are striking to account in great detail the contributions of a single person, which I think is really special and sacred. But it also means that we're losing somebody extraordinary. So it is with a heavy heart and a grateful heart, Chair, that I am making this presentation this morning, honoring and commending Adriana Kesler upon retirement with 34 years of the glorious county of Kern. I will ask for your indulgence, the public and the board, as this is a little bit lengthy, but I'll tell you it barely captures the magic of 34 years and the contributions to humanity. So I'm going to do it with pride and gusto. Adriana Kesler began her career with the Kern County Department of Human Services on October 1st, 1990, as an eligibility worker and successfully promoted through the eligibility services. And in April of 2000, 10 years later, Ms. Kesler promoted once again to Human Services Supervisor, where she successfully led a team of eligibility workers to meet state mandates and assist Kern County's most vulnerable community members. In October of 2006, Ms. Kesler became an assistant program director where she continued to excel at managing staff administering the Cal Learn program before promoting again to program director in 2008, where she worked in various eligibility areas. Not done. Ms. Kesler served many purposes within DHS, such as the Organizational Change Manager for Healthcare Reform, Civil Rights Coordinator, supported by the Staff Development and Training Division, and amongst a variety of achievements within these classifications, Ms. Kesler's strong leadership, versatility, and enthusiasm helped her motivate her division to surpass department, federal, and state targets, to surpass them. Ms. Kesler held a variety of leadership positions during her tenure, including the Senior Human Resources Manager in DHS Human Resources Division, where she oversaw staff development, personnel, payroll, and eligibility and social services training, was instrumental in crafting multiple departmental plans, such as the Civil Rights Plan and Department Worksite Specific Plan to ensure staff safety during the COVID-19 pandemic. Never heard of it. In January 2021, Ms. Kesler promoted to Assistant Director of Human Services, a role she had until retirement. where she managed the Employment and Financial Services Bureau, the largest bureau in the department, overseeing 5 divisions providing services throughout the county. And Ms. Kesler helped improve various business processes to enhance DHS customer experience, was a model of dedicated work ethic, transcending into every role she assumed by embodying DHS's core values of personal responsibility and accountability. The Kern County Department of Human Services wishes Ms. Kesler the very best in all her future endeavors. She has earned the admiration and respect of staff, colleagues, supervisors, the public, for her professionalism and hard work. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Supervisors of the County of Kern, State of California, does hereby honor and commend Adriana Kesler upon her retirement with 34 years of dedicated service to Kern County and adopted July 16, 2024. I know there are others who will say some beautiful things about you, but this is a small token of appreciation presented with a big heart to you for 3.5 decades of life given to so many here, countless. It is countless, the contributions, the way in which you have impacted human beings. God bless you. We wish you the best in your next endeavor. We will miss you. It is a loss to the county, but the contributions have been so profound, I'm going to let you pass.
Thank you so much.
Here you are.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board, Supervisor Perez. That was very eloquent. I think she covered everything I pretty much wanted to say. I just want to personally thank Adriana Kesler for 34 years of service. When you think about 34 years, most people that stay with the company for 20 years is amazing. 25 is even greater, but 34 is probably going to be unheard of nowadays. But Adriana, thank you very much for the exemplary work that you've done. You've been through 7 directors, which tells you the legacy you've been through, a lot of implementation with regards to eligibility systems and providing service to our community. But thank you very much for the exceptional work you've done over the 34 years.
Thank you.
I'll turn it over now to the Chief Deputy, Cindy Utes, who has a few more words to say.
Thank you, Lito. Good morning, Chairman of the Board and members of the board. My name is Cindy Utes. I'm the Chief Deputy Director, and I'm here today to recognize and honor Adriana Kesler, who is our Assistant Director of Human Services, upon her retirement, as you've heard, after 34 amazing years of dedicated public service for the Department of Kern County, the Department of Human Services and Kern County of Kern. As mentioned in the proclamation, Ms. Kesler worked her way up through various eligibility positions to the Assistant Director position, which she holds today. During her employment, she also led the position as our Human Resource Manager, as you heard during those times during COVID, where she faced many challenges, put together plans, and things were really unknown at that time. From HR manager, she was then promoted to assistant director over the largest bureau of the department with management responsibility of almost over 1,000 staff in the administration of eligibility programs, CalWorks, CalFresh, Medi-Cal, General Assistance, Homeless Assistance, and Employment Services, managing staff in the Bakersfield office as well as our call center, and then throughout all 7 district offices that stretch from Taft to Ridgecrest in our county. As the assistant director, she also led through all the many phases of again, the pandemic, where services were initially being provided remotely, so we had to work through all of that. Rules and regulation changes were frequent, if not daily, and then we saw an increase of applications throughout that pandemic for providing to those who were vulnerable and in need in our community. She led her team through this challenging time, ensuring that services continue to be provided through the many phases of the pandemic, and most recently through the Medi-Cal unwinding, where we had to start bringing things back to normal. She has represented Kern County well throughout the many years of her career through managing intake divisions, CalWorks divisions, Cal Center. She's also been the lead over many of new initiatives which you've heard of, including healthcare reform. She most recently worked with a vendor on a new business process reengineering model to redesign business processes in order to improve customer service, streamline operations to make our services better and meet the needs of our customers. I have had the pleasure of being her manager for the last few years. I can tell you she really made my job easy. She was responsible and dedicated to the people that we serve in Kern County. She loves doing eligibility work. She loves helping people. It truly is her passion. You can sometimes find her out in the lobby or on the phone trying to help people until her staff would try and grab her and say, go back to your office. We've got it. We'll take care of it. She was very knowledgeable about all the programs we administer, and she encouraged her staff to do the best job they could do. She modeled a dedicated work ethic, which transcended into each and every role, as you heard, that she assumed. She embodied core values of personal responsibility and accountability. She has earned the admiration and respect of all staff colleagues throughout the years. I will miss her. Her staff will miss her. And Kern County will miss her dedication, knowledge, skills, and desire to help those throughout Kern County. She's retiring on a happy note. She's retiring to spend more time with her kids, her grandkids, and she has a new grandson on its way. She has her family, friends, and staff here to help support her at this time. And so now I'd like to turn it over to Adriana to say a few words.
So first of all, I'd like to thank you for my proclamation and the recognition of my career with the county. It's been an honor and a privilege, and I want to express my deepest gratitude to you for the opportunity. I feel truly blessed that I was able to learn, grow, promote, and lead in this department over the last 34 years. I have truly had a passion for this work, and I will miss it tremendously. Thank you.
Okay, yes, where? Oh, here. Not just yet, come on. Wipe those tears, come on. For the camera. Okay, probation, familia, where are you? Get on down here. Any officers coming down?
They probably wouldn't come down even if I asked them to.
Would some come down? Because here, the folks at home can see on the camera if anybody would be willing to come down. All right, there we go. Come on down. Good stuff.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Come on down. Come on down. Right up here. And the folks at home, thank you so much for being here. Hey, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Good to see you guys. Look this way. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for coming. Thank you. So come on, let's gather around here. Well, Chair, this is not your mommy and daddy's probation department, let me tell you, and it's not mine either. When I started at the Public Defender's Office in 2008, I had many interactions with probation officers, many fine service people in this community. But the probation department that I see today is not the probation department that I saw then. And I mean it only as praise and only as hope for the attitude and the spirit that I have seen develop within the probation department that is so incredibly humbling to me, because I can't imagine taking on such risks in my personal life as these people do. I can't imagine it. I wouldn't do it. You couldn't pay me to do it. So it's extraordinary to think there are people who actually devote an entire lifetime to public safety, an entire lifetime to risking their safety for the well-being of the community. So today is an incredible honor, and it is an incredibly humbling one. Honorable Chairman and colleagues, I'm so proud to stand before you today to proclaim the week of July 21 through 27, 2024, as Probation Services Week in Kern County. This week, the women and men of the Kern County Probation Department we celebrate their wide-ranging, vital public safety services to the community that they provide every day. The dedicated work of probation staff is defined by a commitment to a safe community and a sincere desire to reduce the incidence and impact of criminal behavior in Kern County. Probation staff seek to provide accountability and opportunity, ode to TR, To those who have hurt the community and themselves through their actions, holding each other accountable when necessary to redirect unhealthy behaviors while also providing opportunities for people to change their thinking and behavior patterns to become productive, pro-social citizens. These are the principles that drive and motivate these righteous public servants that you see presented here today. Their staff are trained in these principles and practices and regularly work with a multitude of other government agencies, community-based organizations, and dedicated volunteers to effect positive changes in those they are called to work with. Kathy, one example, the Arts Council has come in and working with the probation department to invest these young people with the idea that they have great talent, great God-given ability, and that if they could work with people who are helping them and who believe in them, it will absolutely transform their lives. What I have seen in that institution is absolutely the most incredible criminal justice action I have seen in my career. From the prison board to the public defender's office, what I see in these people, their heart, their professionalism, their ambition to get it right, is truly, truly stunning. It's extraordinary. So this is my privilege and my honor to be here. I want to say to Chief Dickinson, what an incredible job your team does, and the spirit that you bring there, I think is truly exemplary and worthy of great praise. Excuse me. Board of Supervisors, County of Kern, State of California, officially proclaims July 21 through 27, 2024, Probation Services Week in Kern County, and is recognized and been entered into the official board minutes, signed by our chairman, David Couch, and we're here to say to you, in all of your glory, thank you, and may God keep you safe. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Supervisor Perez, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. This recognition is great. What makes it even more meaningful to me is the personal interest that each of you have taken in our work as board members. Just in my time as chief alone, you've participated in ride-alongs toward our facilities, connected us to people who have become partners in our mission, and have met with my staff who represent employee groups. More painfully for you, you've also had to endure meeting with and listening to me. So thank you for that. And thank you for leading into what we do as a group. Probation's footprint and impact on the criminal justice system has continued to grow throughout the years, mostly due to a multitude of new state mandates and realignment efforts that have shifted services from the state to counties. We remain strong in our traditional roles. These include the supervision of adults and youth on probation, operating secure youth facilities, and providing complex dispositional and sentencing reports to the courts. Our role as sentencing law experts and our presence in the courtroom brings tremendous value to the judicial system. With AB 109, we took on supervision responsibilities for over half of the population of people being released from state prison back to Kern County. With SB 823 DJJ realignment, the state shifted responsibility for the most high-risk youth offenders to probation. We are now responsible for all youth whose cases remain under juvenile court jurisdiction, which can last up to age 25 in some instances. Through a California Supreme Court case and subsequent legislation, probation is now responsible for adult pretrial assessments and monitoring of certain individuals pending the resolution of their criminal cases. Amidst all the growth and changes, what has remained constant is the high level of dedication, work ethic, and passion the men and women of the probation department bring to their jobs each day. By embracing the values of accountability and opportunity, they make a positive impact on people's lives and provide for a safer community. We believe we must hold people accountable when they misstep or fail to adhere to the court's orders or the law. We must also provide opportunities for people to change their thinking patterns and behaviors, to turn their lives around and break the cycle of recidivism. I don't have to even look that far into the past to showcase a few examples of accountability and opportunity in action. Our armed supervision officers do periodic unannounced home calls on both youth and adults on supervision to ensure they are following through on the terms of their release. Just last week at one of these home calls, officers seized an AR-15 style rifle, ammunition, methamphetamine, and paraphernalia, resulting in the arrest of 4 people for various gun, drug, and gang participation-related offenses. On that very same day, we celebrated the graduation of over 30 adults on felony and post-release status from our adult programming center. The APC is an in-house program aimed at making positive changes in the lives of the participants and reducing their risk to reoffend through the provision of numerous evidence-based cognitive behavioral therapy classes facilitated by our probation program specialists. Also just last week, Channel 23 highlighted the Camp Outdoor Education Project at our Camp Owen facility. This is an incentive-based program where the youth earn opportunity to explore and learn from the surrounding Sequoia National Forest and also learn and grow through service opportunities in the Kern River Valley area off campus. I mentioned DJJ realignment earlier too. Only youth who commit the most serious and violent felonies are eligible for this type of long-term in-custody commitment program. It was just a little over a month ago, I watched over a dozen of these youth walk across stage after earning their high school diplomas while in our custody. Youth across all of our facilities have also enrolled in over 120 college courses through Bakersfield College and the Rising Scholars Program. There have been numerous additional vocational training opportunities presented in our facilities, as well as through partnerships with local education and community-based entities. Our youth services officers are tasked with maintaining safe and secure facilities where youth are held accountable. At the same time, they provide an environment where pro-social behavior is rewarded with opportunities to grow and improve. We do this with the understanding that all these youth will be released back to our community at some point, so we are committed to doing all we can to ensure they are ready to be productive members of our community. And today, we have a Youth Services Officer core training class going, and so I invited some of our newest staff who are attending that core training to attend as well, and they're sitting over there to my right. So thank you for welcoming me. So I hope that by highlighting just a small sample of what we do, there's a better understanding of what probation is all about. Every day, my staff are dealing with some of the most challenging people in our county in environments that are often dangerous and unpredictable. And before I close, I want to have us show a brief video that we put together that we're going to kick off on our social media pages at the beginning of next week. So if that could be played, that'd be great. Hi, everyone. I'm Bill Dickinson, Chief Probation Officer of the Kern County Probation Department. July 21st through 27th marks Probation Services Week in the state of California. In Kern County, it's a chance that we have to recognize the hard work of the men and women of the Kern County Probation Department. When I think of the work of the department, I think of the services we provide to the Superior Court of California. Both on the juvenile delinquency side and the adult criminal side, our officers work diligently to do pre-screen assessments, pre-trial assessments and monitoring, dispositional reports, pre-sentence investigations reports, so that the courts are equipped with information to make sound decisions based on the law. Our officers that work in those court units also work inside the courtrooms as court hearing officers, providing the court with valuable information. I also think of the work we do supervising offenders in the community, whether it be felony supervision, post-release, mandatory supervision, or youth supervision. Our officers create case plans with goals and objectives, provide home calls, do office visits, all with the goal of reducing the incidence and impact of criminal behavior in juveniles and adults, and redirect offenders to become productive members of our society. I also think of the great work we do in our 3 distinct youth facilities. Staff there are responsible for the supervision and rehabilitation of youth ordered to our care by the Superior Court of California. Through those facilities, our overriding goal is to ensure the safety and security of the community, and that the youth leave our facilities better prepared for success than when they arrive. We also provide programming services for youth and adults. Our program specialists and staff who work at Bridges Academy work in conjunction with other agencies to provide evidence-based and best practice programming to offenders to help reduce recidivism and further attain educational goals. We also have staff who conduct background investigations on prospective employees and a training team that coordinates the training of the entirety of our department. It's worth noting that most of our training is conducted in-house, meaning officers doing the day-to-day work also provide training to their fellow officers for the betterment of the department. We're fortunate to have a great support staff team as well. Our fiscal support staff and clerical support staff do a great job ensuring we have the tools we need to succeed in our mission. So how do I sum up the work of the men and the women of the Kern County Probation Department? Simple: accountability and opportunity. When people misstep and need redirection, we provide accountability. We also seek to remove obstacles and provide opportunities for people to make better decisions and become productive citizens in our community. So this week, I ask that you stay tuned and follow us on our social media pages. We're going to highlight each of the 10 unique divisions that make up the Kern County Probation Department. I also ask that you join me in celebrating and recognizing the work of this great department. It's an honor to be the chief and to represent the work of the men and the women of the Kern County Probation Department. Thank you. So in closing, people have asked me, so what do you do as chief? To which I often respond by saying, not much. And well, this is meant to be a little funny. When I look out at the landscape of this department and all the work that my staff do, a better answer is to say that as chief, I get the privilege of representing the men and the women of the probation department. So during Probation Services Week, I hope that people reflect on their work and ask that you join me in recognizing them with a round of applause.
You guys turn around and face the crowd. You're live.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Chief, thank you to you and all the people in the department, the men and the women that work for us every day. Please pass along our thanks for what they do every day. I also want to compliment them on the way that, I know this has nothing to do with you, you're not in those negotiations, I'm not in negotiations either, but the reports I get are they are always extremely professional and courteous, and it just makes what could be a tense situation much easier to handle for both sides. I just want to compliment them on the way they've always handled it. For 12 years that I know of, that they've handled themselves, which to me means they've probably done it the entire time that they've been in existence. So just compliment them on that for it. Pass that along, please. Thank you. Okay, well, I know we're bouncing around a little bit today on the agenda, but I think it makes a little bit more sense if we do items 3 and 4 next, and then we will come back and we'll talk about how we're going to deal with that. Items 3 and 4 are going to be presented by Supervisor Peters. They proclaim item 3 proclaims July 2024 as Parks Make Life Better Month in Kern County. And item 4 proclaims, somebody here is excited about parks, that's good. Item 4 proclaims August 2024 as Child Support Awareness Month in Kern County. The reason I'm reading so slowly is we need a motion and a second. Can we do it with 2? Okay. We can? Can we do it with 1 motion? Can we do it with 2 votes? In other words, we have only 2 people here, so we don't have a quorum, correct?
You're right. No, sorry, I didn't realize she had left.
Okay. Second isn't the problem. Why don't we do this? Why don't we jump to item 28 and that's true. We could make the presentations.
Chairman Couch, she's coming right back, I'm told.
Okay. Well, I'm also, it's also suggested to me by Supervisor Peters that he can make the presentations and we can vote after the presentations. Okay.
I can read the titles real slow while we
Okay.
make the motion.
So why don't you go ahead and do that without a motion?
Okay, perfect. Want to do a real quick roll call vote beforehand?
You want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve items 3 and 4 proclaiming July 2024 as Parks Make Life Better Month in Kern County, and August 2024 as Child Support Awareness Month in Kern County.
Second. Okay, roll call vote. Supervisor Couch?
Yes.
Supervisor Perez?
Yes.
Supervisor Peters?
Yes.
Motion is approved, 3 ayes, 2 absent, Supervisor Scrivener and Supervisor Flores.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to get started with July 2024, proclaiming it as Parks Make Life Better Month in Kern County. And I have got to say our Kern County General Services Department has been working extremely hard on improving parks and making these places accessible and enjoyable for the communities that they're in. They've just been building new amenities and improving them and restoring them left and right. And most recently, just this past Friday, July 12th, we had the ribbon cutting for the George and Darlene Randall Skate Park in Lake Isabella, which the community has been trying to get done for over 20 years. And it was a hugely attended event. A ton of the community came out. Fortunately, they didn't make me try and skateboard out there because we might not have a quorum today. But it was super exciting for the community, and my hat's off to General Services and everybody that's been working on these parks projects. So I don't know if, do we have anybody from General Services here? Come on down. So on behalf of the Board of Supervisors of the County of Kern, State of California, we have officially proclaimed July 2024 as Parks Make Life Better Month in Kern County, and this recognition has been entered into the official board minutes and signed by our Honorable Chairman, David Couch.
Morning, guys.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning, Chairman. All right. Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. I'd like to thank you for this opportunity to speak about our parks that play such an essential role in bringing communities together. My name is Isaac Preston. I'm a senior CAO manager for General Services, currently filling in for Jeffrey Hill, our Chief General Services Officer. I'd like to first take a moment just to recognize the team in General Services that helped kind of put a lot of these parks renovations and projects together. Here we've got Michelle Burns-Lusich is our senior CAO for Construction Services. We've got Matt Howard. We've got Steve Ronimus, who represent the general service managers that oversee the east and western regions of Kern Parks, of Kern County, overseeing 43 parks throughout. We've also got a reservation staff here. Karen McKenzie runs the reservations. Daily, they're putting in over 100 reservations easily for different spaces and parks throughout. A little bit about myself. I started in March 4th, 2019, exact same day as Matt Howard. We were a parks department, and recently known as Parks and Recreation. Last year was our really first recreation we had. Matt Howard worked diligently on opening up a swimming pool in Roseman last summer. So this is our second summer. Currently, we're having approximately 150 guests a day when that pool is open, using that space. When I started, I was asked right away to start putting together a grant. It was a state parks program grant. I had never written a grant in my life, right? So it kind of freaked me out a little bit. But I had to do the job, not for one, because I was new, but two, I was on probation, and wanted to keep my job. So we started immediately with figuring out what we needed to do. So we put together a team devised of some general services team members, as well as a team from the CAO's office. We figured out how we were going to write it. We reviewed the application, what it was going to be, and we decided to go with a data-driven process in selecting 5 of our most competitive parks. We worked for 5 straight months, kind of critiquing and building these grants. Waited once we had submitted the grant 5 months after, what was it, August or so, and waited for a couple months, didn't hear anything back. We finally got a call from the state asking for them to come and do a site visit with us, which is typically really good news in this selection process. He left. We didn't hear back again for a couple months. And then the beginning of 2020, we were notified from the state that we were not selected for the first round of SPP. At this point is when I truly understood the unwavering dedication of the General Services team. Not only did we not succeed for our community, but we immediately rallied, determined to identify our mistakes, and found a way to deliver for the communities that we serve. Since then, we have successfully secured over $60 million in grant applications for park improvements. Each of these enhancements create safer spaces for our community members to play, barbecue, reunite with families and loved ones, relax under a tree, and dream about fantastic possibilities life offers. I tell you this story really because the type of work that it takes from a team to build a community, and a strong, healthy community at that. Not everybody has the luxury to just hop in a car and, an air-conditioned car and drive to Pismo Beach for the weekend or whatever, or down to Santa Monica or even Disneyland Park. But what they do have is a safe and clean park throughout Kern County that our team works on keeping safe for our community members. Some of our young youth and young adults have maybe drug addiction problems at home, alcoholism, maybe broken homes, abusive parents. So these kids need a place to relieve some stress, a space to escape the reality, clear their minds, and get rid of stress by being active and staying mentally aware. Or maybe they just need a place for their imaginations to run. Our parks offer mental and physical health to our communities and will continue to be an extremely important asset to our county and our county communities. I'm thrilled to announce that the month of July has been proclaimed Parks and Recreation Month. I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to the board for your unwavering commitment to funding and improvements. I also want to thank the General Services managers and supervisors in the Parks Division for their dedication in keeping our parks clean and their innovative ideas and moving our parks in a positive direction. A special thanks to our construction services team for their hard work and diligence in seeing these phenomenal projects through to the end. And last but certainly not least, I want to thank our community for your continued support and patience. Thank you.
Thank you, Isaac. Nice job.
Okay, and next, it's my pleasure to proclaim August 2024 as Child Support Awareness Month in Kern County. And I'm joined by our director, Elizabeth Chavez. And I just have to say, I've toured her department. I've worked with her on several issues, and it is just an unbelievably well-run department. They do so much to try and streamline their services that they offer, to try and be effective as they can for the community. They've really taken to heart the model of looking at their constituents not just as the constituents, but more as their customers, to really try and serve them the best way they can. And they've done a fantastic job with it, and they've been a really model of a well-run department in the county. So I want to congratulate their department and Elizabeth for her leadership on that. And it is my honor to proclaim the Board of Supervisors, the County of Kern, State of California, has officially proclaimed August 2024 as Child Support Awareness Month in Kern County. And this recognition has been entered into the official board minutes and signed by our Honorable Chairman, David Couch.
Good morning, Chairman Couch, Supervisor Perez, and Supervisor Peters. Before we get started with our presentation, we have a very short video we would like to show. Although Ready Set Back to School is our event for Child Support Awareness Month, it's our biggest event. As you can see by the video, Child Support Services is so much more than establishing a child support order, collecting and distributing payments to parents. The success of our program lies in the participation of both parents in the process so that they both provide for their children in a consistent manner. I would like to highlight some of our success from the beginning of our federal fiscal year of October 2023 to now so that the public can better understand what we really do to help families create a better life for their children. As the video highlighted, we have collected $77 million so far this year. Of that amount, $69 million was distributed directly to families. We believe serving customers where they are is important. We've created partnerships with the Sheriff's Department and that has changed within the past year. We now have in-person at Laredo staff to assist customers on a weekly basis and during the week via our kiosk. We have assisted 153 customers in person at Laredo and 168 via the kiosk. We educate and answer questions about how their situation affects the management of their case and what they need to do upon release. We understand that some parents are unemployed and seeking employment. This is where our Family Resource Unit comes in. They assist customers by identifying barriers to paying their support. Since October, our team has referred 30 customers to ETR. The best part of our relationship with ETR is that they have identified customers that need our services and have referred 113 customers over to us. And through those partnerships, we're able to establish what is the issue going on with that case, help them so that they have a plan and can complete that training that they are seeking at ETR and are successful in seeking employment and finding that employment. They are immediately served also through our kiosk, so it's not a paper referral. They're actually speaking to someone immediately. And for us, that is a success, because these are different partnerships. We have assisted 54 customers at the Family Justice Center in Bakersfield and Lamont via our kiosk service. This, for us, is a success, because these customers are in crisis, and having the ability to speak to us immediately at a place where they're at is a success. Other ways we are assisting customers toward success. For the customers who owe past due child support that is permanently assigned to the state of California, there is a debt reduction program they can apply for. Once they have paid the agreed upon portion of their debt, it can be reduced. As of now, we have approved 72 applications of this type, and a total of 43 customers have completed their agreements. That means that these customers can now move on beyond their child support debt. I'm also pleased to inform you that the Kern County Child Support Services here is a leader in innovation. The awards that we received this year from CSDA and WICSAC are a demonstration of how the team is focusing on collaboration with others within the community and outside of Kern to change the perception of child support. Most recently, a group of supervisors from my department came together, so they were from different areas within the department, to put together a Lean Six Sigma proposal that affects how we manage inter-county cases. The team presented this proposal to the State of California Child Support Services, and I'm excited to announce that yesterday a kickoff meeting was hosted by Kern County and the Department of Child Support Services statewide, the State Department of Child Support Services, to begin the planning and implementation of a statewide project for this. For me, that's another demonstration of success, because my team has totally bought into the fact that leaning out waste is important no matter where it's at. As you saw in the video, we now have a mobile office that will soon be placed within the county to assist customers who may have a barrier of transportation. This is not just for the outlying areas, but also for certain areas in Bakersfield. You will soon receive an invitation to join us in the celebration of this one-of-a-kind Child Support Services mobile office. To reduce the stress and anxiety customers feel when attending a court hearing, we have reimagined the area where we first meet with them at Superior Court to create a sense of partnership and a collaboration. Our attorneys are focused on this collaboration via education with customers at court and have increased the number of stipulated orders by 15% during this year. This means parents have agreed upon the terms of the order, And we focus on this because there is research regarding parents paying support on a consistent basis because they participated in the process. Research also indicates when this happens, a child is more likely to be successful with their school attendance, education, and overall well-being. These are just some of the ways we have changed in how we are serving the families of Kern. Customer service surveys continue to increase the level of satisfaction with our services. Surveys with comments about the level of service they receive are now including the name of the person who assisted them. The fact that a customer remembered the name and put it in a survey is a success, as they want to recognize that person for their efforts. And some of my team members here, Roxanne, Louise, Stephanie, and Carmen, are the people that are called out in those surveys. And so I asked them to join us just so you can put a face to who is serving our customers on a daily basis via the phone or in person. I would like to thank my team for their continued dedication to the families we serve. Their efforts are changing public perception of our program. Their commitment to our values of trust, respect, quality, communication, teamwork, and innovation lead to the demonstration of our purpose in motion. Hopefully, as we continue this path, more parents will enroll in our program and be part of our next success story. Enrolling in our program is not something to be embarrassed about or to be afraid of. We are here to assist parents navigate the legal process, reduce barriers so that both parents can support their children. During August, we host Ready Set Back to School Health and Wellness Fair, which will be held on August 8th from 9 to 12 at the Kern County Museum. This is our 15th event. 15th event. To me, that's amazing. To celebrate, we will have special surprises. And as of now, we have over 70 community partners who will be there providing information that families may not be aware of services that are available to them. The only eligibility requirement is that the child must be present entering grades kindergarten through 12th grade. I would like to thank my team for their passion to provide backpacks to the children in our community. Thank you to our longtime partner, Kern Bar Association Charitable Foundation and Valley Strong Credit Union for their continued support. Thank you to the Kern County Museum for continuing to host the event at their location. And I'm kind of choked up this morning because as I was listening to all of the presentations before us, I was thinking of the partnerships we have with those departments and how we are so connected because we serve the same exact families. But when I pick up the phone to ask Lito, hey Lito, can you guys help me with this? He says yes. We meet on a regular basis to talk about our families, to talk about how we can serve better the families in our caseload. When I reach out to Jeff in General Services, he has never told me no. He's never told me no. And because of Isaac and when Carl was here, their efforts helped us to start doing distributions at parks.
Well, we're going to start having you make our requests for us.
It's all in the way you ask. I want to say thank you to the department heads and their staff because I invite department heads and I invite you to come to our activities, and you do come to our activities. And I want to say thank you because I know everyone has busy schedules, but I think the one thing in common that we can all agree on is the children of our community deserve the best that we can give them. And when we partner with partners like probation, because we are partnering with the probation department, to reduce barriers for their parents, that trickles down to the children. When we work with the sheriff's department, that trickles down to the children. Every department that we are connected to as a county helps us to serve our families better. I got off script here because I got passionate about the presentations. In closing, I really want to say that, we are really focusing on different ways to serve our families, understanding that when both parents are successful, then we will find the success for that family. We have started a coalition. We're in the very beginning of the planning stages for a fatherhood coalition, and in that partnership, we count DHS, First Five, Kern County Superintendent of Schools, the Mission of Bakersfield, the Bakersfield American Indian Health Project, CAP-K, and Bakersfield City School District. For us, that's a demonstration that they also understand that together we can affect families differently. Child support is not something that anyone should be embarrassed about. I spoke to a customer last week, and one of the words they used was embarrassed. And for me, that really caused me to stop and think, why would someone be embarrassed about supporting their family? right? Because that's important. And so how do we change that stigma? I think we change that one parent at a time, one family at a time. When you think of our program, when there's an investment in our program, for every dollar that is invested, we collect $3.23 to transact to the families. That's a lot of money when you think about it. We are a cost-effective program. And in that, all of that is because of the dedication of my team members, the partnerships we have within the community, and your support. So thank you.
Some of them are camera shy, Philip. Thank you all for being here today. Congratulations. Okay, we're going to jump around a little bit. We're going to come back to board member announcements, reports, and public presentations. But first, we're going to take item 28, which is the only other item that is not on the consent agenda today. I'm sorry? I'm going to have to ask you to come to the microphone. I'm going to indulge this, but I've got Assemblymember Dr. Jasmeet Baines here for a specific item, and I'm going to, the purpose is to allow her to get in and out of here on this particular item, and then
we would like to get in and out of here too, actually, because we have jobs to go to after this. And people would like to speak, and it's not okay that everything else has taken at least an hour so far. When last time we were
I'm
here.
sorry, first of all, I need to ask your name.
My name is Anna Medel. Last name Medel, Anna with one N.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, that's basically it. Like,
okay,
we gotta speak. We have jobs to go to.
I appreciate
we can't
that.
be here the whole time, but
We all have things to do, and I appreciate.
your job is here.
Yes, it is, and I'm here, and my job is to also conduct the meeting. So I appreciate your comment. Thank you very much. We're going to go to item 28. We're going to allow this to happen so Dr. Baines can be here for just a few minutes and then move on, and then we're going to get back to the regular part of the agenda.
Ridiculous.
Thank you for coming today. All right, item 28 is a proposed amendment with, proposed agreements with the Arvin City Police Department in the amount of $700,000, the Delano City Police Department in the amount of $700,000, the Shafter City Police Department in the amount of $700,000, the Wasco City Police Department in the amount of $250,000, Clinica Sierra Vista in the amount of $1 million, and Kern County Hospital Authority in the amount of $1 million, and a memorandum of understanding with the Kern County Office of the District Attorney in the amount of $660,000 for participation in the Fentanyl Misuse and Overdose and Prevention Task Force from July 2016, 2024, through January 1, 2026. Ms. Martinez.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. During the fiscal year 23-24 state budget, Assemblymember Dr. Jasmeet Baines secured $10.5 million for a fentanyl addiction and overdose prevention task force in Kern County. Dr. Baines has been working with staff in the county administrative office to evaluate proposals submitted by many organizations in the community. The items presented for your board consideration today represent the collaboration of local law enforcement agencies and healthcare providers to address the epidemic in our community. And it is also the beginning of this task force that will address silos in combating fentanyl. Fiscal policy analysts Joseph Arreola and Julia Carlson have been working with each of the agencies to develop the proposed agreement for your board's consideration this morning, and they will provide you, your board, and the public with a very brief overview.
Morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. Part of the funding that is being approved today is for our partner agencies with city police departments, the Kern County District Attorney's Office, and in cohort 2, we will later see the McFarland City Police Department, Kern County Sheriff, and Kern County Probation. Funding for partner cities will be used for training, equipment, investigation and specialized units, the hire of crime analysts for data gathering, analysis, and reporting, and the establishment of education and community support divisions to raise public awareness and encourage community support for individuals facing these challenges. County agencies will use funding similarly, with the addition of laboratory and toxicology testing for fentanyl, xylazine, and similar synthetic compounds. All agencies will be working in a coordinated effort with the local task force and healthcare partner agencies to promote comprehensive strategies, enhance resource allocation, and foster a multidisciplinary approach to problem solving.
Thank you. Chairman, members of the board, I'm going to present to you a little bit on our partner agencies within the healthcare agencies, as Joe briefly mentioned. Within today's agenda, we're asking for approval of the agreements with Clinica Sierra Vista and Kern County Hospital Authority. Both of these will expand healthcare workforce and increase access to street medicine. Both will expand street medicine by extending services beyond the traditional clinic setting. Kern Medical will be expanding services within shelter sites, and Clinica Sierra Vista will be expanding their street medicine team, increasing access to substance use treatment. Both of these will be providing services to marginalized populations and individuals experiencing homelessness. These programs will broaden the geographical reach across our county. In addition, Clinica Sierra Vista will launch an addiction medicine fellowship program equipping healthcare providers with the specialized knowledge and skills to provide a comprehensive care to those battling addiction. Kern Medical will expand their fellowship program, increasing the addiction medicine services through additional inpatient consults and outpatient clinic services. On the screen, you can also see Cohort 2, which will include partnerships that are in the works and will come before your board at a later date. These include funding for expanded access to medical education and expansion to a medical detox program. Now, you heard us speak on multiple partnerships and their individual agreements. Now, this flow chart that you see on the screen is intended to be a visual representation of how these various partnerships are working together for a comprehensive task force approach. On the left, it shows the referral sources on how individuals typically will first enter into the flow of this task force. The referral sources include hospital emergency departments, including Kern Medical, mobile crisis response and law enforcement, including our multiple law enforcement partners that Joe mentioned, and homeless outreach, including the expanded street outreach teams through Clinica Sierra Vista and Kern Medical. Moving to the next gray box on the screen is the medical detox piece, which, as mentioned, we're working through the details on that and will provide more information at a later date. However, this is an integral part of this flow through the fentanyl task force. Moving to the green sections are various levels of care within residential treatment centers and sober living environments. And then on to outpatient treatment, which includes partnerships with Kern Behavioral Health and Kern Medical's fellowship expansion. The final box on the left shows individuals that have graduated to recovery services and are continuing with community supports. This includes all of our partnerships in various ways. And then over the top of this flow chart, you see an education piece. This is an overarching piece of this task force that all agencies will be involved in some way. The education will include to our specialized workforce within the law enforcement training, medical training, and then also a community outreach and community education piece as well, which, as mentioned, all of those agencies will have a piece of. And then the last piece that's not shown on here directly, but is incorporated throughout the whole thing, is a data collection and analysis piece that through this task force, we'll have quarterly meetings with all of these agencies, collecting data, analyzing that data, and then through these quarterly meetings, doing a little check-in with everyone, see how everyone's doing, how these programs are working, and then making adjustments as needed. So I hope that this flow chart is helpful to show that all of these individual agreements are not siloed individual projects, but really all come together for this cumulative task force. And that concludes my remarks, and I'll pass it back over to our CAO.
So the recommended action for today is for your board to approve the proposed agreements and authorize the chairman to sign. Assemblymember Baines is present and would like to address your board in this very historic opportunity to bring collaboration between our law enforcement and our healthcare partners.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chair and members of the Board of Supervisors. Can I have the members of the task force join me up here real quick? This is a super amazing, first of all, thank you to Julie and Joe, Juliana and Joe and Elsa for working on this. We've been working on this for the past 6 months almost, getting everything together for this task force. It's been great having them on board. They've done such a great job. Thank you to them. Thank you to Kern County for allowing this opportunity. For me, everybody knows, as a physician, as an addiction specialist right here in Kern County, fentanyl is something that I have been working on for very many years. I first witnessed fentanyl ravaging our community when I was working in Taft as a lone doctor out there in a FQHC. And at that time, that inspired me to get my primary care psychiatric fellowship and my addiction certificate as well. After that, I joined Bakersfield Recovery Services as a medical director, increasing resources for people suffering from addiction. After that, I continued on and got elected to the state assembly. And my very first bill that I introduced was AB 33. I got sworn in with one hand and I slipped my very first bill with my second hand. And it was AB 33, which was signed into law last year, along with AB 33, which establishes a statewide task force within the Attorney General's office. We were also given an extra allotment of $10.5 million for Kern County to get started. This was an investment from Sacramento in Kern County, specifically because I was trusted for my expertise in addiction and making sure that there are people that are going to be responsibly using this money to make sure that we address the problem of fentanyl. There is nothing funny about the fact that people are dying from fentanyl daily. There is nothing funny about the fact that I have had to hold the hands of kids that have seen their parents die, or parents that have seen their kids die. There is nothing funny about the amount of fentanyl that we have seized in this county. There is nothing funny about the fact that law enforcement works day in, day out to keep our community safe. How about our healthcare providers that work day in, day out to increase medical innovations, to make sure people get access to treatments? The biggest problem is you have people on one side and the other side saying, all we gotta do is lock everyone up. We gotta increase treatment. It's both. Hold people accountable, get people access to treatment. The $10.5 million was split right down the middle. You had half go into law enforcement to create protocols for education, for more data analytics, for machinery and data, things that can allow better analysis and capture of drugs that are hitting the streets. The other part is the $5 million piece, which is going to healthcare to provide resources for people that are suffering from addiction, making sure that we have more and more research and innovations and access to treatments. The problem of addiction is something that has been created, and we must address it with both. This is, as Elsa said, an historical amount of money that's been invested in Kern County. Nowhere else in the state have you seen this investment. And this is because Kern County elected the first addiction specialist to office in California. This is a direct investment because they believe in the work that I am doing, and they believe in the work that Kern County can do to lead the way on combating drugs. This is also a first step in combating the new emerging drugs. As everybody knows, we have xylazine on the rise, tranq, we have carfentanil hitting the streets, which is 100 times more potent than fentanyl itself. We have to get a handle on our drug crisis. Super honored to be here today. Thank you again, Elsa and Julie and Joe, for all the work that they've done. This is the first step. We're going to continue creating more and more protocols to make sure that this program gets implemented, and I look forward to taking the results of this task force to the state with the Attorney General's office to also implement AB 33 at the statewide. Kern County will lead fentanyl task force for the state of California. Super amazing honor for Kern County to be here to lead. Thank you guys for having me, and thank you to all of the members of the task force.
Thank you.
We got 3 on the side.
Thank you for your work.
Thank you.
Appreciate your comments. Gentlemen, you're free to comment if you would also like, but you don't need to. Thank you. Thank you for being here today. She pretty much summed it up, right? All right, we need to allow, is there anyone here that would like to make a comment on this item before we take any action? Seeing none, I'll return it to the board and ask for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved, 3 ayes, 2 absent. Supervisor Flores, Supervisor Scrivener.
Thank you. That concludes all the agenda items. Now we're going to come back to, we would normally go to public presentations. I'm going to take board member announcements and reports for one speaker before we go to before we go to public statements. Is our fire chief still here? I know he has to get somewhere. Chief, I know you wanted to give a quick report about the fires over the weekend, and I want to allow you to do that because I know you have to be somewhere. I'm sorry it took so long. And by the way, before you do that, I want to say thank you to Assemblymember Dr. Jasmine Baines for being here today, and your staff. Thank you very much for your work, and thank you for being here today. Chief.
Good morning, Chairman Couch and esteemed board members. I just wanted to take a minute to kind of update you on the spiritful weekend we had this past weekend. Oftentimes I come before you asking for more resources, or people come before you to say, hey, this is what's wrong with Kern County. But I do want to take a minute today to tell you what is working in Kern County, what is a success in Kern County. Today I stand before you as a proud fire chief, and I want to tell you all the great things and all the great work that your Kern County firefighters have done. Last Thursday, the week started off with a bang. We had academy graduation. We graduated 44 recruits. Supervisor Peters was there. He gave us a great warming speech. It was just a good day. These recruits went to work the next day. Friday morning, though, we came to work, and National Weather Service said, hey, there's a 30% chance of dry lightning coming into Kern County. Now, that's 30% way too much for me. Due to all the high heat we've had, the dry fuels, no humidity, it's just it's a perfect recipe, and it turned out to be exactly that. To prepare for this event, we reached out to the California Office of Emergency Service, and we asked for them to allow us to upstaff extra crews, bulldozers, helicopters, and they agreed, and they will pay for those resources. So on their dime, they have upstaffed Kern County Fire Department, which is a win for our residents. Saturday morning, as I watched the Weather Channel, watched the weather come in, you started to see the dry lightning move into Kern County. At 11 a.m., the first lightning strikes began with almost no measurable precipitation, which meant no rain, and it was dry lightning. At approximately 11:09, our dispatchers received a report of a fire in the backcountry around Rosamond and between Tehachapi in a small community of Twin Lakes. The fire was named the White Fire. Our firefighters quickly engaged, throwing all our resources, ground, air, everything we can at that fire to protect the 26 homes that were in the Twin Lakes community. We were successful in protecting those homes, and that fire still burns today. At 2:19, as lightning continued to strike in the county, another fire was reported at the Old Tejon Ranch headquarters off Wheeler Ridge and Sebastian Road. That fire was named the Rancho Fire, and it quickly spread up the hill, threatening the community of Stallion Springs. Now, I was always taught that life is about relationships. You partner relationships, you really want those relationships. So I reached down to South Ops and I said, hey, I need more resources. And they said, we don't have anything to give you right now because everyone's experiencing lightning. That wasn't going to work for me, so I called the Ventura County Fire Chief. I said, what do you got? He says, I'll give you a crew and a helicopter. Perfect. Called the LA County Fire Chief. What do you got? I'll give you a helicopter. Before I got off the phone, the Orange County Fire Chief was calling me saying, hey, what do you need? We are here for you. In total, they gave us 1 crew, 4 helicopters that were able to do night flying, and we were able to keep that fire out of the Stallion Springs community because of their assistance. At the same time, though, the hurricane fire started in San Luis Obispo County over by Soda Lake. As you're kind of driving over the coast, you pass by it. That fire started and it was moving slowly. We saw it coming into Kern, but we were like, it's in San Luis. Of all the fires we have right now, we're not going to focus on that one, right? Well, a thunderstorm went over the top of that and it fanned all the flames, and that pushed that fire directly into Kern County as the fire walked off the timblers and started threatening the communities of Derby Acres and Fellows. We quickly initiated what we had left, and we put what we could to assist the agency of BLM and San Luis Obispo County to stop that fire. If you looked out your window at 10 o'clock at night on Saturday and looked to the west, you could just see a glow from eye to eye, and that was the hurricane fire walking its way into Kern County. Now, it'd be one thing if we were just handling these fires, but that wasn't just all we were handling. We still had our routine fires. We still had our structure fires, medical aids, traffic accidents, all that stuff was still going on. Over the weekend, we had over 400 incidents on top of the wildland fires we had. Our resources were stretched so thin. At one point, I had more open fire stations than I actually had staffed fire stations. My staff moved quickly. We put an all call out to everyone, come back to work. We canceled days off. We suspended vacations, and our Kern County firefighters showed up, staffed our engines, put reserve equipment in, and protected the community of Kern County. In total, there were 734 lightning strikes in Kern County. These strikes resulted in over 5 large wildland incidents, burning over 31,000 acres and requiring 8 evacuation warnings and orders to be placed. All those warnings and orders require evacuation shelters, so I want to thank their fellow department heads, the Sheriff's Office, Lido, Bryn. I want to thank Jeremy Oliver. Their crews helped put together these shelters so that people had a place to go. In conclusion, I want to express my deepest gratitude for your board for the unwavering support you give me in the Kern County Fire Department. This past weekend highlights the strength, grit, and sacrifice of our firefighters. Their tireless efforts and unwavering commitment made all the difference in protecting our communities under these incredibly challenging times. This concludes my statements, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Please pass along our thanks to your guys. I know you update us, and it always seems inadequate when I say, thanks for the update, hang in there, but I don't know what else to tell you. But I appreciate you being here today and giving us an update.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Chairman,
You bet.
Chief, I just want to say basically the same thing as Chairman Couch. You do a great job of keeping us in the loop and informed on top of the million other things that you guys are trying to deal with, and it's really appreciated. And the amount of stress you guys are having to deal with, the amount of logistics and coordination is unbelievable. But everybody from from you and your leadership team down to the new recruits that we just saw come out of class 24-1 and volunteers, everybody that's working with you guys do a fantastic job. And on behalf of all our communities, I just want to say thank you guys very much for what you do.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, we're on item 13. I'm going to continue that item and go to item 12. We'll come back to 13. So item 12 is public presentations, which is the portion of the meeting reserved for persons to address the board on any matter that is not on the agenda but under the jurisdiction of the board. We try to keep our comments to 2 minutes. Please proceed.
Chairman Couch, Board of Supervisors, my name is Tom Pavich, P-A-V-I-C-H. I am the Kern County Coordinator for the Election Integrity Project. My purpose here today is to present you a copy of the lawsuit filed by our organization. This goes back to February of 2023, and I'm here to provide a status report for that lawsuit and answer any questions you may have. This lawsuit was filed, and it was filed in the county of Los Angeles. It was dismissed by the court there for lack of standing. We appealed. It went to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeal, and we received standing. That makes this lawsuit one of the only lawsuits in the entire United States where there is standing, which involves an election integrity issue. We have our organization and 5 other plaintiffs, which were politicians that were damaged by the election, and on that basis, as well as the over 10,000 affidavits provided by over 20,000 election observers that have been trained by our organization and have observed, that enabled us to obtain that status of standing. The case was sent back to the lower court. It was dismissed by the lower court. We are in the process of appealing it again back to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in front of a 3-judge panel. And that's the current status of the complaint. And with the remaining time I have, I'm happy to answer any questions. I am not an attorney. We are an all-volunteer, unpaid organization, but I'm happy to provide you with any other information that I may have.
Well, I appreciate your comments. We'll read it. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I'll read it.
Hang on, let's we've got a bunch of people that want to speak, so let's alternate. I know this is going to be a little disjointed. Mr. Robles is at the microphone. That'll be 2 speakers on that topic, and then we'll go to 2 speakers on the, what are you all here to talk about? Can you?
We're here from the Kern County Fire.
You're from Kern County Fire?
Yes. And we're from the union, sir.
Okay, Mr. Robles, and then we'll go to you, and we've got a line of folks over here. We're going to try to alternate so you don't have to all wait for others to finish. Mr. Robles, please.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Ralph Robles, R-O-B-L-E-S. Good morning to the board. During the 9 a.m. Tuesday, June 25, 2024 board meeting, Ms. Amy Espinoza informed you of the following. I want to remind everyone that we had 2 elections within 2 weeks of each other. The second election was not a small election. It encompassed half of our county. So it was a significant election. So we had certain tabulators that were prepared to count ballots for the March 5 election, and then we had to prepare separate tabulators to count ballots for the March 19th election. Supervisor Couch asked, is that because the tabulators you prepared for March 5th are still counting ballots during the time of the March 19th election? Correct, she said, and by March 5, we were already starting to receive ballots for March 19th. So we have to count those separately, responded Ms. Espinoza, and Ron will cover the following section.
No,
I'm sorry, sir.
It's the same presentation, sir.
That's half of this comment.
Hang on.
I can finish it then if you want to.
That would be preferable because we asked one person to stick to 2 minutes and not split time up. That's been the policy at the County of Kern for many, many years.
You still got 43 seconds, so let him finish what
I understand that. So I'd like to allow Mr. Robles to finish that, then we're going to go to a couple over here, then we're going to come back to you all.
Okay. All right. We have given you evidence contrary to Ms. Espinoza's testimony to you on June 25th. Evidence was provided to each of you yesterday via Ms. Krause with documents that on March 8th, an election worker did in fact upload March 5 ballots into the very same tabulators that the thumb drive was inserted into the day before, and which, according to Ms. Espinoza, was supposed to be solely dedicated to tabulating ballots only applicable to the March 19th election. This isn't transparency that we have been requesting. Rather, it is an additional evidence that our Kern County elections are not free and clear. Please consider this a formal request for the following under the California Public Records Act. Certified copy of the 2 tabulated records depicting all ballots run through these 2 tabulators between the dates of February 5, 2024 and April 30, 2024.
I apologize, but you've run over your 2 minutes. So I'm going to have to ask you to bring those comments to a close. Do you have those comments in writing?
Can I give you this?
Yeah, you can all give us anything in writing to our clerk, and she will distribute that. Thank you.
Thank you.
By the way, you mentioned I think you mentioned something, a video that was sent to us yesterday?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, that we were not, based on the county's protocols, we were not able to open that, correct? So we have not seen that, It's not because we don't want to see it, it's because based on
I
our.
think that we can provide you another copy.
Okay, I just want to let you know that it's not that we don't want to see it, it's that our protocols, what it was requesting of us.
May I remind
to-
you that you have been remiss in answering our CPRAs. Thank you.
Next time, maybe you can wait till I'm finished with my sentence before you remind me of that, but thank you for being here, Mr. Robles. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Yes, hello. I'm Johnny Chavez. Like I said, I work at Kern County Fire, and
Yes,
I
sir.
wanted to piggyback off of what Chief Duncan said. Everything he said was 100% true. He also forgot about a department, which is Fleet, who I work for, which is a mechanics for the Kern County Fire. We're understaffed, like he said. We're super busy, just like all the firemen are. We're 14 mechanics in charge of same amount of fires, same amount of everything that gets called out. We have over 700 pieces of equipment that we have to be in charge of under 14 mechanics. We're a department under 20. We're a department under, it's under 20 of us, handling 700 pieces of equipment. We're, like I said, we're short staffed, we're underpaid compared to industries where we're at. We don't attract any new mechanics in. We're too underpaid. We have mechanics with 3 months experience, 3 months working, and we're mechanics who have 15 years of experience, and there is no ceiling for movement there because we have no wage increase. We're also working off of a tool allowance, which is $17 a pay period for us. And we're also working, we're so far behind in times, we're also working off a tool list from 1988 that hasn't been updated. Sorry guys for this is my first time up here, yeah. State law mandates that a mechanic who supplies their own tools, it's double minimum wage. We're way below that. Again, Chief Duncan and everybody, we all do work hard. We're a forgotten department. We just want to be heard. We just need a raise. That's all we're asking for. We're asking for a proper raise, what we have in our industry.
Can you give me your name again, sir?
Johnny Chavez.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're all wanting to get out of here, obviously, and you want to get up to the microphone quickly, and so I'm going to ask you not to applaud so we can get up, so we can get each of you to the microphone and speak as quickly as possible. And then I don't have to do this. Thank you.
My name is Jose Rene Morentes Arredondo. Thank you, Mr. Couch, Mr. Peters, Ms. Perez, for giving us the opportunity. There's a lot of purple shirts out here. I'm just recapping on what we talked about last session we were here. We are going back to what we consider a huge crisis is the fentanyl and homeless crisis in our county. It's affecting our community, especially those vulnerable ones. We see them on the streets. We know they're going into the emergency rooms. And what do? Well, we're the front line. We are the ones that are dealing with these people. We're asking that you guys please help us with this contract. SEIU 521, it's not just behavioral health, but all the county employees. I'm speaking on behalf of behavioral health because we are the ones that are linking the people to the homeless shelters, to City Serve, and Street Flood. When people are fighting addiction, they need help, and we link them to resources. We give them treatment. We bring them in. We hold groups. We try to figure out a way to have them think differently so they don't use. It's a real hard task. We have a real problem in our hands, and we're being short-staffed. When our employees leave for another higher paying position, we found out that we might not get these positions refilled. This is a problem for us. Now that our community is looking to eliminate, now that our county is looking to eliminate vacant permanent positions, it's at the worst time. We just want a fair contract. That's all we're asking for. We want to retain our employees. We want to retain our current workers. Maybe one day you guys could come out and ride with us, or come out to our offices and see what we do. We are your employees. You guys should get some hands-on and see us as we work day to day trying to with people that have struggling issues with mental illness.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Board. Chairman Couch. I want to read some excerpts from the Judicial Watch lawsuit case.
Sir, can you provide your name, please?
I'm sorry, Glenn Clayton, Clayton. I'd like to give some excerpts from Judicial Watch lawsuit case number 2:24-CV-3750. You are, as you are no doubt aware of the National Voter Registration Act of 1993, this was intended to both, quote, increase the number of eligible citizens who register, to protect the integrity of the electoral process, and to ensure accurate current voter registration rolls as maintained. The goal of ensuring election integrity was embodied in Section 8, which requires each state to contact a general program that makes a reasonable effort to remove the names of ineligible voters from the official list of eligible voters by reason of the death of the registrant or change in the residence of the registrant. The fact that the March response admits that 16 of California's 58 counties, which together contain more than a fourth of California's populations, did not know how many registrations was removed under Section 8D 1B in a 2-year period. This establishes both a statewide failure to conduct a general program that makes a reasonable effort to cancel the registrations of voters who have become ineligible by reason of change of resident. It also establishes a failure of Defendant Weber to fulfill her duties as California's chief state election official to coordinate state responsibilities of National Voter Registration Act. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Supervisors. The March response, I'm Charles Shin, S-H-I-N-N. The March response admits that 16 California counties could not, at the time of the EAC survey, tell how many registrations were removed pursuant to Section 8D 1B in the period from November 2020 through November 2022, although some of these counties did provide reconstructed and estimated numbers for the March response. The 16 counties are Del Norte, El Dorado, Inyo, Kern, Lassen, Marin, Mendocino, Merced, Mono, Nevada, Orange, Riverside, San Joaquin, Santa Clara, Sonoma, and Tulare. Kern County expects to remove roughly 60,000 registration records of inactive voters during the 22 to 2024 reporting period. Although the precise number of removals will depend upon voting and registration activity, the county expects to report these cancellations to the EAC in response to the 2024 EVAS survey. Defendants have failed to fulfill their obligations under Section 8A4 of the NVRA to conduct a general program that makes a reasonable effort to cancel the registrations of California voters who have become ineligible by reason of a change of residency. Defendant Weber has failed in her duty as California's chief state election official to coordinate state responsibilities under the NVRA. And concerned folks can go to judicialwatch.org, look at uploads, and see Weber-CA-NVRA complaint.
Thank you, Mr. Shin. Morning.
Good morning, and thank you for allowing me time to speak. My name is John French, F-R-E-N-C-H, and I have been employed by Kern Behavioral Health and Recovery Services for 18 years as a substance use disorder specialist, and I'm a proud member of my union, SEIU Local 521. I'm here this morning to speak about the issues we are currently facing as a workforce, which in turn, if not addressed, will affect not only yourselves, but your constituents throughout Kern County. At Kern BHRS, we have been tasked to address many issues and crises that affect our community and each and every one of us in so many ways. The fentanyl crisis, the mental health crisis, the rising number of unhoused people, and crime, among others. Issues that are being reported daily by local media that leave the public feeling hopeless, exasperated, and unsafe. Issues that, if left unaddressed, will spell catastrophe for our community and our future. We at Kern BHRS year after year have answered the call to address these issues, often at the risk of our own personal safety. We're often called to go places where law enforcement won't go without weapons or backup, and I personally know this, having been viciously attacked by a client on a home visit. Yet we are currently hindered by poor wages, poor employee retention levels, unmanageable workloads, and the threat of not being able to fill all the positions necessary to address the aforementioned crises effectively. And who truly loses? The mother whose son died from a fentanyl overdose. Families worried sick because their mentally ill loved ones are wandering the streets, lost and being victimized, and unhoused transition-age youth that are kept safe from human trafficking, gangs, and addiction, and countless others getting their needs met through the services we provide. This public's trust should never be broken because of an unwillingness to invest in solutions. And the solution is to ensure a workforce at Kern BHRS that is big enough and well-funded enough to meet the needs of the community. What we are asking is that our compensation and support mirror the very value that we provide our community.
Thank you, Mr. French.
Thank you.
What we're addressing is affects everything these people are talking about. Clean voter rolls will clean up a lot of these problems.
Nice segue.
Jeff Sanders. Good morning, Board. We have a great concern over a timeline to clean up the voter rolls prior to the upcoming November 5th, 2024 election. Amy Espinoza has promised to complete 77,000 inactive registration confirmations. This reflects 18% of the registered voters completed in the month of July 2024. We note that we do not see the inactive designation on the voter rolls, and we would like to know if the Elections Office keeps an inactive roll separate from the active rolls. We are making a CPRA request for the inactive rolls for the past 5 elections. According to the NVRA, the voter rolls will enter a frozen period with no removal starting August 7th, 2024, 90 days before our November 5th election. This affects the November 5th election, also compliance with the Judicial Watch lawsuit's demand to complete within 2024. If we can get our voter rolls ready, we can clean up this stuff.
Thank you, Mr. Sanders. Hang on, Dennis. I think I cut your mic off on accident.
Dennis, time is reset. Yeah, time. Start over.
Thank you.
You know, I was just about to say that, but I'm glad my helpers are here today to help me do that.
I commend her. Dennis McLean, MC, capital L-E-A-N. I want to thank you, Chairman, Mr. Peters, and Ms. Perez for showing up this morning and doing your elected position. It's appreciated by all. We have submitted a pattern of great change to registration numbers that Amy Espinoza admits was a lack of oversight and incorrect software programming causing the fluctuation of 53,000 plus or minus votes. We have great concern how these reported numbers affected the quantity of ballots ordered, the amount of ballots sent out, the amount of ballots collected, and the amount of ballots not returned. We would like a timeline of these numbers and an accounting of amounts listed for the March 5th and the March 19th, 2003 elections. Each ballot costs close to $105 to the county, so 53,000 ballots added comes with an estimated cost of each elections at $5.6 million. 90-day freeze starting August 7th, 2024. National Voter Registration Act, 1993. Section 8, requirements with respect to administration of voters' registration. From this document, a state shall complete not later than 90 days prior to the date of a primary or general election for federal office. Any program, the purpose of which is systematically remove the names of ineligible voters from the official list of eligible voters. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McLean.
I had planned to drop this hot potato into 2 laps, but Ms. Perez, looks like you're it. Don't take it personally. No reason this can't be fun, right? Why, Supervisor Couch, whatever do you mean?
Please give
My
us
name
your...
is Jim Robinson.
Thank you, Jim.
Robinson. Good morning, Board. I would like to present some observations couched in a question. Given what we've seen during and since the last election cycle here in Kern County, the need for an additional 50-plus days to navigate our now profoundly convoluted system of counting ballots, a process that we used to complete in 2 to 3 days and arrive at the results of an election, given that our registrar voter, who wears an additional 2 important administrative hats, requested and received close to $3 million in additional funding to expand our county's election agency, additional funding which, to the citizens of Kern County, has done little to bolster the confidence in what can accurately be described as a convoluted boondoggle when it comes to counting ballots. An either incompetent or uncooperative response by the ROV to addressing the issues of our county's inaccurate, some might say polluted voter rolls. Vague responses to the issues of undocumented non-citizens who, by state and national leadership fiat, continue to pollute the aforementioned voter rolls. Given the atmosphere of what can accurately be described as one of antipathy that has prevailed for the past half-decade as a result of the profoundly expensive and clearly questionable, unreliable policies and procedures that raise alarming concerns with regards to the alarming concerns and abhorrent expense, arriving at evidence of egregious chain of custody issues facilitated by the mandatory mail-out ballots. The question is, if the vote put forth to our Board of Supervisors back in April of 2023, when the Dominion voting machine contract was approved by this board, were to be taken again today, given the distrust of our registrar voters' office and the lack of security and efficacy as to those votes cast by legitimate registered U.S. citizens being the only votes counted in our Kern County election cycles, taking note of the aforementioned contentious environment brought about by this mass mail-out ballots, if the vote were to be put to the board today, how would you vote? Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Morning.
Morning, Board. Pamela Reese, REECE, at your service. In case you don't know, precinct boards chosen for each precinct are made up of voters of the state. Each person must be appointed via written notice by the county elections official and must meet specific generic requirements to be eligible. Before the opening of the polls, oaths are administered and recited by each precinct board member. Additionally, a declaration of intention to fulfill their assigned duties must be signed. At the close of the polls, each member must sign a certificate of performance. As you can see, these are all things of integrity, responsibility, and ownership. These few state-mandated requirements to be eligible to work at the polls, issue ballots, and count those ballots are important. Correct casting and canvassing of the vote in the precincts are of tantamount importance. Intelligent reflection and rational coordination must be used. The appointment process helps ensure this. However, in recent elections, poll workers are not being appointed, and ranked squirrels are working in the polls, and no oaths are being administered. I know. I'm an inspector supervisor at the polls. Mine is not a light and transient complaint. Therefore, I respectfully and cheerfully ask this Board of Supervisors to make a referral to county staff and place this matter on a future agenda for review and full discussion, and then maybe ask Kern County Elections boss to appoint future poll workers and emphasize the need for administration of oaths at the polling place before November, hopefully. I thank you.
Would you be willing to leave that with us, whatever you're reading from?
It's a rough draft, but sure.
That's okay. I want to get it right when I'm looking at it. Thank you.
You are welcome. Excuse me.
Hi, good morning. My name is Jaime Alas, A-L-A-S. Good morning, my name is Jaime Alas. Yeah, A-L-A-S.
J-A-I-M-E?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Jaime Alas, and I work at the Department of Human Services and currently work at Aging Adult Services. I'm a member of the SEIU union. I help senior dependent adults and people who lack the capacity to take care of their basic needs. I'm here to talk about the level of services provided by the county to the public. I work with this vulnerable population who experiences neglect or some type of abuse and struggle to advocate for themselves. It is important that we strive to provide quality services to this population. It is my responsibility as well as the county's responsibility to do so, and we cannot provide them with quality services by maintaining a high caseload. We cannot provide them with quality services with the stressed out staff who feel dismissed by this board. We cannot provide them with quality services when the board disses the retention issue. We cannot provide them with quality services by cutting vacant positions. We fill them. And we cannot provide them with quality services when morale and pay is low, forcing people to find second jobs or quit. If you do not agree with what I said, take the time to visit us at the office and get to know us. You will see we are passionate about our work and we work hard for the public. I recently stood outdoors with a coworker in last week's 150-degree weather for hours. We worked to help a vulnerable dependent adult who, for confidential reasons, we will call her Jane. Jane had been abused in unimaginable and multiple ways. Everyone failed Jane, and I'm sorry, but for many years, this county failed her too. We all did, but as I speak to you today, Jane is in a safe place. Our department got together as a team to help her. Our department stepped it up. So it took a coworker and I all day 2 Mondays ago to work on this one case alone, just one case alone. And our work is still not done. All the union members here and county employees in the office respectfully demand that this board work with our union for a strong contract. We need a strong contract which will result in quality services for the public and will help victims like Jane. It is time for you, the board, to step it up. Please do not forget and dismiss Jane again. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Alas. Did I get that right?
Yes, Alas.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Board. My name is Sam Hain Knight, S-A-M-H-A-I-N-E, Knight as in nighttime. I work as a peer specialist with Kern Behavioral Health and Recovery Services. I am someone who helps link families and the homeless population to housing. I have seen several peer specialists leave due to high workloads and unfair pay. The community is being affected by this as the service we do, helping people overcome barriers to housing, then becomes challenged and those families suffer. The homeless population returns to the streets. People and families will sleep in their car in parking lots. I have been homeless, and imagine finally being approved for housing only to be turned away because there is no one left to help you, because the staff that is supposed to be there left for better wages. I respectfully demand that the board work with my union, and together we can improve the working conditions through a stronger union contract. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Knight.
Hi, good morning. My name's Lydia Gonzalez, and I work as a human services tech.
I'm sorry, did you say Lydia?
Lydia, yes.
Thank you.
Gonzalez with an S at the end. I work as a human services technician for the Department of Human Services. We are working overtime to supplement our wages. Some of us work daily, 6 a.m. in the morning to 9 o'clock at night. Some of us work additional jobs. Why, you ask? We need to pay rent, mortgage, electricity, and buy groceries for our families. We want to go on vacation to spend quality time with our families. We shouldn't have to depend on overtime wages to pay for basic necessities. We have unrealistic workloads and expectations. We struggle every day to issue out benefits for cash, food, and health to the disadvantaged community members in a timely manner. Some applications are processed 6 months later. It should take around 30 to 45 days. Management states we are meeting the state standards, but they are being met with overtime. But yet you want to eliminate vacancies? Do you want our community to go without basic necessities, such as shelter and food? How do you tell an innocent child that they have to go without food or bed for the night? Contrary to belief, our peers are leaving the county due to wages, workloads, and unbalanced work life. I have witnessed some of my peers filling out the resignation forms in fear of being 100% honest and retaliation in case of another opportunity for employment. So you want to eliminate vacancies? We don't have enough staff now. We are expected to meet the needs of our community without regards to vacancies. This creates unnecessary stress on our minds and bodies. Have you come out to watch us on the front lines? The community is frustrated. They are going without their benefits, cash, food, and health needed to sustain their families. It's not a simple push of a button. It's a lengthy process. I invite each of you to come out to see what we deal with on a daily basis. Please work in good faith with our union, SEIU 521. We will continue to speak out until we get a fair contract.
Thank you, Ms. Gonzalez. Who'll be next? Morning.
My name is Jonah Tilton. Thank you, Chair, Mr. Peters, and Mrs. Perez. Hello, my name is Jonah Tilton. I'm a veteran of the United States Air Force and have been employed by Kern County as a communications technician for 10 years. Our main role in communications is to maintain the public safety radio and microwave system, i.e. 911 communications. For me, it is easy to see how this job affects the residents of Kern County. Excuse me. They need reliable communications for all public safety and first responders. In June of 2023, this board approved a new $177 million public safety radio microwave system, as I'm sure Elsa and the three of you recall. I recall board members asking who is responsible for maintaining this system out of warranty. Well, the answer to that is the Communications Division within General Services. Currently, we are responsible for maintaining the antiquated radio system built in 2000, and as well as overseeing the installation of the new microwave radio system, public safety system project, as well as having our hands full with day-to-day operations. Excuse me. We have our hands full doing more with less. We lost two of our most experienced technicians and are having trouble recruiting qualified replacements. We have done our own equity study and have found that this career field with Kern County is 15 to 25% underpaid in comparison to similar counties and the city of Bakersfield. The state of California pays their communications technicians up to 30% more than what Kern County pays. To aid in recruitment and retention of qualified communication technicians, Kern County needs to provide a fair and equitable wage. I have come here today to explain why we need and demand a fair contract. I'm sharing this information. In sharing this information, I wanted to show you the direct effect a weak contract has on my career field. I, like you, work for the residents of Kern County, whose safety is our goal. We need equitable wages to all employees. Investing in our employees is investing in the residents of Kern County. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Chilton.
Good job. Good job.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Morning.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rico Mendez, RIKOMENDEZ. Thank you for allowing me to speak and be here today. Thank you to all the SEIU members that are here today, sharing the pride that they have in their union and really their desire to reach a resolution on a fair contract for everyone. You know, I've been working in this county with SEIU for the past 17 years. And in that time, I've seen a lot of changes. I've seen a lot of positive movement in terms of expanding services, those services being done by SEIU workers and our partnering brothers and sisters, like the ones we recognize today in probation, child support, parks. Much respect to the good work that those departments are doing. In that time of 17 years, I've seen the service needs in this county go through the roof. You know, we've really watched as the workforce has dealt with the increase in homelessness, crime, drug addiction, and these are the workers that are on the front lines dealing with it every single day. They are rescuing children from dangerous situations. They're social workers. They are aging and adult service workers. They are roads. They are in every single aspect of the lives of anybody in Kern County that needs help. The issues that we've seen, the lack of investment that we've seen, has led to a massive amount of vacancies, which means an extremely high workload for the workers that do stay committed and stay here in Kern County. We've seen really, really extremely high turnover rates, higher than most counties. And I represent counties all throughout Central Valley, Fresno, Tulare, Stanislaus. But here in Kern, we feel there's an opportunity because the need is so high, the workforce is so dedicated. The missing piece is the investment in the people that do the work. These folks right here. The solution is clear. They need more money, they need good benefits, and they need the ability to show up to work every day knowing that they're respected. You have the ability to do that by putting serious resolutions on the table. We hope you'll do that. We have negotiations coming up this Friday. Please give clear direction to your team to make movement in the most critical areas that will help these workers be respected and help us get a deal. Thank you very much.
Mr. Any other public statements today? Anyone else here to make a public statement? Seeing none, I think that brings us to the end of the morning. I'm sorry, Supervisor Perez, didn't see you there.
No surprises there. Thank you, Chair. I would like to say to Rico, thank you for coming to Kern County.
Really?
It was such a blessing to see you out there this morning. And I was really amazed to walk up and feel the energy. It was so palpable. It is so real what you are doing. It is so real. And thinking about the sacrifices that you make, and particularly DHS, the people that deal with traumatized children, traumatized family members, and actually care about them. You know, government can be such a cold experience, and that's for a whole host of reasons, and that's not to put anybody down. But what I see from you guys when you're here, and what I've seen from you always, is a genuine care and love for people. And that is absolutely priceless. We couldn't pay you ever enough money to compensate for what that means in your own residual mental health challenges that come as a result of seeing trauma to this degree over and over, and the feelings of hopelessness, what that does to you in your emotional state. It is absolutely profound and palpable. And I just want you to know I was so encouraged to see you this morning. I really was. I was encouraged to see that community out there. So strong. Rico, really believing that this matters, not just the contract piece. I have every faith that we're going to move towards a new resolution. I do. I just do. I feel it. I believe it. I trust Elsa. She's a good faith player, and she's here to do what's best for Kern County, not to push any political or ideological agenda on either side or any side. So I feel very confident and very hopeful. And the pressure that you have applied, because that's how life works, the squeaky wheel gets the oil often. We wish we'd get more oil here in Kern, frankly, and we need to be more vocal in our partnerships and how we enhance and improve Kern County. And I want to say to SEIU, you know, I don't think we would have passed Measure K without you. And I appreciate you so much because as a matter of public safety, we are so profoundly behind. It's embarrassing and it's scary where we were, and we are making strides there, but not just for public safety. We know how important that is, but to the hearts and minds and the actual people caring for our people. Most of them innocent, most in a pitiful condition beyond their control. That you would devote a life to surrounding yourself with such energy really speaks to the greatness of who you are, regardless of the position or the lot you're in at this moment. So thank you Rico, I think I appreciate your remarks. I think they're incredibly gracious. 17 years here in Kern County. We've been at this for over a decade together, and I feel really good about the moment that we're at. But I want to tell you to please don't lose hope. These are good people here, and these two women here and the folks that are listening to you and trying to be creative in how we move forward, I believe in them and obviously believe in you. So hang in there, and I look forward to a good victory here. It's more than well overdue. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, I want to assure you that I did not see you had punched in, and I sincerely apologize for if it looked like I was attempting to skip over you. I was not. I made a mistake there because we continued item 13. So I want to come back to item 13, which is board member announcements and reports. Supervisor Peters or Perez, do you have any? You do, Supervisor Peters? Go right ahead.
Thank you. I know the meeting's gone a little long today, so I'm not sure if she's still here, but I wanted to see if Kat Barnum is still here. Not seeing her, but just for the record, Kat Barnum was recently appointed to the Kern River Valley Public Cemetery District, and that's a district that has been having some serious challenges over the last few months here, and we really appreciate her willingness to step up and serve on that board. So I just wanted to take a minute and acknowledge her.
Thank you. I also need to make an announcement, and that is, I think I'm calling for a special meeting on Monday, July 29th at 3 p.m. to conduct a closed session where the subject will be the recruitment of our Chief Administrative Officer, correct? Okay. Is that good enough? All right. That's all I have, so just need a motion to adjourn to closed session.
So moved.
Without objection, we're adjourned. Thanks.